5 things I hate in Saints Row Reboot. Number 5. Rubber banding enemies. The Saints Row games have always had this one design when it comes to how the car chases work, where the enemies would always seem to rubber band you no matter what you were driving. If you were driving the fastest car in the game, they would always catch up with you no matter what. Saints Row Reboot isn't any different. The same thing happens, but I feel like they might have doubled down with these chases a bit more, because what pisses me off is that you might have moments where you're probably going to lose your pursuers, but then they just teleport right behind you. AI basically cheats now. They not only can rubber band you, but now they just teleport behind you. And yes, you do have a ram button that you can use to get rid of your pursuers, but it's still pretty annoying. I don't like this. What pisses me off the most is when you hit an NPC and they get pissed off and they start chasing you all over the place. This does actually happen. They can chase you if you hit their car, but you'll later find that this is more of an annoyance than it is being a funny moment. How the hell is his raggedy ass car faster than my fast ass Lambo? I'll never understand this updated game design that they still somehow kept in their modern game. Number 4. First Strike Dojo Venture. This is a criminal venture that you can buy pretty late into the game's story. And out of all the criminal ventures you have, this is personally my least favorite one. The idea is that you build your own dojo fight club to train your Saint recruits, but there's a rival dojo club called the Final Fist who is under protection, and your job is to eliminate the Final Fist's base of operations. The catch here is that you have to beat up all the guys using melee weapons, which sounds fun, but you'll soon realize that the melee combat is just straight up awful in this game. You have 2 attacks with these melee weapons, regular and heavy. And you also have a skill called the Flaming Fist. The issue I have with the melee in this game is just how stiff and basic it is. There's no rhythm. You just button spam the attack button over and over until the guy dies. And not only that, these enemies are surprisingly very difficult to fight. Oftentimes you land your attacks, but they just eat the attacks like nothing. They don't even flinch most of the time because they have that layer of armor you have to take off. Because of this, you're essentially just taking turns getting in and out of stun locks between the enemies. Of course, you could just use that shove kick attack and hit them normally, along with that flaming fist attack, but that could only get you so far. It can especially be annoying when there's multiple guys at once and you have to hit them all by yourself, because all of them could just jump at you at once and get you briefly stuck. And if you ask me, that heavy attack I feel like doesn't really do more damage than it is with the regular attack. If anything, that just makes you more exposed to enemy hits. So your best choice is just spamming regular attacks and shove kicks. I personally don't like doing that because it just feels cheap and boring. Even if you have your melee weapons fully maxed out, that still isn't going to help you kill the enemies faster. It still takes forever to kill one dude. Another reason why this is my least favorite criminal venture. Number 3. Bullet sponge enemies. The combat in this game is a mixed bag for me. On one hand, I like it, but the other hand that pisses me off is the bullet spongy enemies. For whatever reason, Volition decided to make all the enemies ridiculously strong against gunfire, and it takes quite a while to get used to. When starting off the game with low-level weapons, you can easily notice how weak your weapons can feel against the enemies. It feels like forever before they finally die when you spray and pray them all over the body, and if you ask me, yes, this is the kind of bullet sponge that kind of just ruins the immersion of the game as well. The kind where you basically have to shoot the same motherfucker like 6 times in the head before it finally counts as a headshot. Seriously, what are these guys' heads made out of? Look at how much blood is coming out of her brains. It's ridiculous. You also have to worry about what are called tough enemies, where they have a layer of armor that you have to shoot off before you can start doing damage to their health. If anything, they're just more bullet spongy than ever. Along with that, you also have specialists, which are like the tough enemies. They're quite spongy. These enemies barely flinch in combat, especially this one where she spins the blades like crazy. I don't like her. To top it off, you also have boss enemies, and as you expect, they're also giant bullet sponges. Look at this crap. Look at how much bullets I gotta spray into this giant thug. How the heck are you not dead from all that blood? Now, even though most of the normal enemies are fine, these tough enemies and specialists are personally my least favorite ones because they just eat through so much of your bullets. I will say this, however, once you level up your guns and make them more powerful and maybe unlock their signature ability, the guns will feel more powerful against the more stronger and spongy enemies. You need these guns leveled up fully in order to enjoy this game's combat. Number 2. Saints Tower. When you fully finish all 14 of the main criminal ventures, you'll unlock one final venture, the Saints Tower. You fully mark your territory in Santo Eliso. You are the kingpin. You own this map and you control it. And also, this tower looks pretty cool. Now, being that this is the last venture you buy in the entire game, it's the most expensive one. It's $8 million. And I hate to say this, but the Saints Tower is one of the biggest wastes of money because you get almost nothing in return. There is a secret cutscene you get when you buy the tower, where the boss and the friends host a party, but it isn't a party with girls and stripper poles, it's a karaoke party. Why a karaoke party? Throughout the whole game, they frequently talk about having a karaoke party, and I didn't think they were being serious, but they were. And to add insult to injury, they do this karaoke party at the church, not at the tower that you spent your $8 million on. This shit looks ridiculous. And look, I understand they're trying to have fun, but this is not the kind of fun I was expecting. Come on. Alright, aside from the cutscene itself, what about the tower? Is it any good? Sadly, no. You can't go inside of it and explore. You just warp to the top of it. That's it. You can't go inside of your own tower. I guess the only thing that's good about the Saints Tower is that you unlock 2 Saints vehicles, but that's it. A pretty cringy ass cutscene of everyone singing karaoke, a building that you can't even explore that you've bought, and 2 vehicles, which they're pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but still. And yes, I understand that when you buy this tower, you also make a shit ton of passive income, but what's the point? You've bought all the ventures, you've fully beaten the game, there's nothing else to buy, so they've really made the Saints Tower a giant money generator. Number 1, the story. I mean, it was kind of obvious that this would be number 1 on this video. The story is not only the worst in the entire franchise, but also the worst in many open world crime games as a whole. This is what happens when you try to appeal Fortnite kids into liking its GTA competitor. It's a reboot of the Saints Row story, but with characters that feel so out of place in a gangster game. They often say stupid stuff that doesn't even sound funny, often cringe. Believe me when I say that some of the dialogue was so horrible that they literally had to cut it out in an update. That's how bad it was. And they act like fucking children sometimes. What are you doing? And the main villains you have with the different gangs also suck. They barely have any screen time, and even if there is screen time, they just get killed off. See that guy? He's the main leader of the Panteros. And there he is again. Oh, and he's dead. And this guy, Atticus, he's the main leader of the Marshal. He fires you early on, you don't see him for pretty much the whole game, and then you see him at the end where you either kill him or fire him. Then you got the Collective, the main idol leaders. They don't even got no fucking names, it's just the Collective. They're just 6 dudes with helmets on, with no names. That's Johnny, that's Amy, that's Dutch. Who the fuck are these people? I will say this, some of the missions you're doing are actually really fun, especially the ones where you have to cause a bunch of property damage or crushing a bunch of vehicles. But that doesn't mean that the game is free from some bad missions. More towards side missions than anything else. There's literally one mission you do with Kevin where, I kid you not, you take him to go get a Happy Meals toy. I'm not kidding. Then you have a mission with Eli where you have to participate in live action roleplay with him. Why are we wasting our time with this shit? Aren't we supposed to be killing thugs, taking over territories, and killing main boss leaders? What is this garbage? And to top it all off, this game, in my opinion, has probably one of the worst endings in the entire Saints Row franchise. Okay, the final mission is cool, but the mission beforehand, what the hell was the director smoking when he was writing this mission? What is going on? Giant waffle makers? This cat? Board games? Okay. This is the strangest thing I've ever seen. More stranger than Saints Row 4. Nawali's betrayal to the Saints is just so dumb. Like, you'd think he would betray you for the sake of taking over the Saints, but instead he just wants your friends. Huh? As you can see, the story for this game is simply not the best. If I were to be recommending you guys a good gangster game with a serious story, then I would recommend Saints Row 1 through 3. Because at least in those games, you have good dialogue, memorable characters, and most importantly, a story that actually makes sense in a gangster game. This game can definitely be fun in some moments, but the story is what ruins it for me. And I hate to say this is going to be one of those games that I'm not going to see myself replaying. That's how bad it is.